Good morning, frequent flyer. This is Wandering Scholar speaking to you from the opening day of China's latest mega airport at Chengdu Tianfu. Welcome to the Panda capital situated in China's Sichuan province. Being China's 7th largest city in terms of GDP, Chengdu's older Shuangliu airport was also the world's 3rd busiest airport in 2020. Tianfu Airport is part of China's 13th five-year plan, with a planned first phase capacity of 60 million annual passengers and 3 runways. Today, I have chosen to fly with Air China, one of the 3 inaugural brigade departing the airport at noon. Our Air China 747 is also joined today by Sichuan Airlines A350 and China Eastern's Boeing 777. As a norm of most of the new airport nowadays, a dedicated priority security channel is available here at Tianfu. Once through the security, I'm greeted by a huge atrium-like space with a gigantic electronic display suspended from the ceiling. However, I did notice that the lighting inside the terminal was lackluster due to the enclosed surroundings. As a business class passenger, I was invited to check out the Air China Lounge. The main entrance is located immediately after priority security, and the upholstery features a dark-toned sandalwood themed design. The entire lounge stretches into 2 floors, with the first level connected to the main terminal. There are multiple buffet counters inside the lounge, as well as the signature cook-to-order noodle bar. Now, returning subscribers of mine may find the lounge very familiar, and you are right. As an ex-Cathay frequent flyer, I can attest to you that Air China borrowed all the essential design from Hong Kong's The Pier to Tianfu. Air China has really gone above and beyond with the lounge, as they even incorporated call boxes, which are pretty much unheard of in China. You also won't miss the individual sleeping cabins that are installed for international to domestic transfer passengers. With all the essential Studio Ilse elements, the only thing you might find missing though is the copyright of Studio Ilse's original design. Now, I have to say that was a very impressive Air China lounge, definitely a level above any other lounge they currently operate anywhere in China. Now, it's not an inaugural flight without ceremony. Similar to other inaugural airlines, Air China hosted a cocktail party in their lounge, serving canopies with Tianfu's emblem to recognize the airport. Now, what a celebration today, the opening of the largest airport in southwestern China, and 4 days away from the Communist Party's centenary. Cheers! Now, for those of you who have watched my video on Beijing's Daxing Airport, it's barely 2 years since I visited Daxing, and now another mega airport of the same scale has been opened, less than 1,000 miles away from Beijing. How crazy is that? Boarding started quicker than I could realize after a hectic 2 hours of filming inside the terminal. For the purpose of the ceremony, all 3 inaugural aircrafts are parked next to each other at the remote bay, which in China means an apron tour in the comfort of a VIP bus. Here we go, the inaugural Air China flight from Chengdu Tianfu to Beijing. Special occasion is coupled with special airplane. The 747-8 operating the 2.5 hours flight to Beijing today features a curated interior commemorating, of course, Tianfu Airport. Business class seats on the 747 is identical to all other Air China wide bodies except the A350. The 2-in-2 and 2 configurations are very common among Star Alliance carriers. I was seated at 14L, the 2-row section behind the nose section of business class. Flying domestically in China often feels very hurried due to the CAAC regulation that mandates all passenger and crew be seated 20 minutes after takeoff and 30 minutes prior to landing. This also means that your seat have to be in an upright position over half of the airborne time. Like everything else, the food on board the Inaugural today is also curated for the occasion. English menu wasn't available, so I can only try my best to translate the fancy phrases on the menu. The presentation of the food is absolutely not representative of the routine cafeteria standard you get from Air China. The food today is perhaps one of the best you would ever encounter in Air China's business class. Now, rarely do you get any food that looks appetizing on Air China, but the food today, I have to say, it tastes every bit good as how it looked. Now, flying on board the Queen of the Skies is always a charm because its chair size is optimal for a post-lunch walk around. So please follow me as I take you through the Air China 747-8. Starting from the very front is the nose section of business class with a 2-in-2 layout. This is often regarded as the most prestigious area on the 747 because you are seated even further in front than the cockpit crew. Making our way backwards, we would cross another mini section of business class, and immediately afterward is where the 12-seater first class cabin is located. Further to the back takes us to the economy class section on this 747. First of all comes the premium economy here. Although the seats are all identical with economy, the extra pitch they have allowed them to be marketed as premium on international long-haul flights. Further back takes us to the economy class, which is absolutely immense to say the least on this 747. With the 3 and 4 and 3 layout, there are a total of 299 seats across 3 sections. Coming back to the front now, we're at door left 2, where you will find the staircases leading upstairs. It's every avgeek's ritual to ascend the stairs on the Queen, and I'm not skipping the action today either. the last bit of remaining flight, where I'm strapped to my seat, I took some time to examine the flatbed on the 747. One of the most important things to note is rarely to select a bulkhead seat, as the ottoman size differs substantially with this seat design. This is only my second time flying on board Air China 747-8, and it feels wonderful to be back on a plane of this magnitude after a year of narrow-body flying in China. The opening of Tianfu Airport sets yet another milestone in China's aviation industry as it strives towards an aviation powerhouse. The only remaining concern is if these mega airports can actually be filled in the foreseeable future.
It has been my pleasure, and I can't wait for our next departure. Thank you for tuning in into my 100th YouTube video.